Hello friends, this is Bilal Heather and today we are going to learn about for off loop. Okay, so for off loop helps us in accessing the elements of an array. We learned to use for loop, the basic classic for loop where we have an iterator. We set it equal to 0, then we check if it's less than the total number of elements in array, then we increase the iterator and we print it like that. So we saw that, right? But there is a better, I say, or a another different way of accessing each element of an array is by using for off loop. So what we do basically here is we say person of persons, and then we do console log person. And if I do node index.js here, you'll see that I'm accessing every single person of the array. So it can be very useful, and it's expressive basically, and it's very simple. So if you have a list of 1000 persons in an array and you want to access them all and you want to display them, you can use for off loop, and it's more easy to use, it's very convenient, it's straightforward. So what you do basically, you start with the keyword for, then you put parentheses, then the body, and this person is a variable basically, and it's going to contain the current person when of the iteration. So the first time the loop starts, this person will be the first element. The second time this person will be the second element, and so. Okay, and you can name it anything you want. So if I say for p of persons, then I can use that p here instead of person. So if I run the code, it still works. So this thing can be any username, any variable name that you want, but this needs to be the array which you want to iterate through. Okay, so I'm telling my for loop that I'm telling for off loop that I will be iterating through my persons array, and I want to access every single person that is there inside of that array. Let's actually do a little complex example for this because it was very simple and the video will be very short. So let's create another array, and let's say users equal, let's create an array, and inside that array we want to have JSON objects. Okay, so the first user is going to be Bilal, and its age is going to be 45, 30, and the second username will be, let's say, Steve, and Steve's age is going to be 15. Third user is going to be John, and his age is going to be 25. So we see that we have 3 users in an array, and we need to access them all by using for off loop. So we start by typing this, and we say user of users, right? And now we do a little console logs here. So we do console log user the username, and we say username, I say username is user.username, and I say age is user.age. Okay, so now if I run my code, you see that username is Bilal, age is 30, username is Steve, age is 15, username is John, age is 25. So similarly we can do iteration over an array, and we can access its elements inside of this for off loop. So I guess this is going to make it easy for you to understand for off loop. So this is an alternative way of using the for loop. So if you want to use the classic simple basic for loop with the iterations, you can use that. But if you want to be more expressive, and then use this one instead. So if you have an organization and it has several employees, and you have list of employees in an array, then you can say for employee of employees, and then you access each single employee inside this for off loop. So I guess this is all for this loop. In the next part we will talk about the other loops as well. So see you in the next part.